Stop what you're doing. Stop. Stop, 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 stop. What you doing? I need a huge favor, okay? Hammer time. No, I'm kidding. But I need a huge favor, right? I need you to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification so you will be notified when content is uploaded. Come on. I'm trusting you. Thank you in advance.
We are celebrating love here on the Michael Finkley Show. Love advocate Dwayne Garnett tells us like it is.
What is your definition of love?
Dwayne read me like a book.
Actually looking from that lens, and you're really saying more of, I can get along with people, but I can tolerate them as long as they don't cross that line. So it's a little different.
Wow, I would have never realized that.
Jabril Wilson and Brianna Livingston tell their amazing love story ranging from grade school. It's a story you don't want to miss. All coming up next on The Michael Finkley Show.
Hello everybody, welcome to The Michael Finkley Show. I'm Michael Finkley. Today is Friday, September 25th, 2020. We made it to Friday. Friday is among us. Y'all, do something. Go do something, all right? You've been working all week long. Be creative, be you. Just enjoy yourself. I am excited because I'm embarking on a new adventure in my life. I'll talk about it later because, you know, I don't mind telling y'all stuff, but I'll tell you a little bit later as things become a little more developed, okay? I promise you. If I don't, remind me. Say in the comments, Finkley, remember you had said? Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I promise. Promise, run, promise. All right? But go and enjoy yourself this weekend. Please do. You deserve it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Michael Finkley Show and ring that bell for notification. And we will see you an email saying new content is uploaded. Now, love is in the air. Love is in the air. I decided to do this show because that's what the world needs now. The world needs more love. Sincere, real, true, authentic love. Love, love, love. It conquers all. And so we will be talking with Mr. Dwayne Garnett. He is the co-founder, along with his wife, of Love is a Parable. They have a whole course of the aspect of love, and he gets to talk about that more with us. And following him, we have a young couple that have been together since, believe it or not, believe it, they met in the first grade. They met in the first grade, y'all, and they're seniors in college, and they're engaged to be married, but they're going to tell their awesome story. Brianna Livingston and Mr. Jabril Wilson. I'm telling you, a story you don't want to miss. Story you don't want to miss. And they mean dear to me because they were my former students when I was at Manning High School as a counselor. So y'all, stay tuned. You're in for a treat. Love on someone today, y'all. I'm telling you, please do it because you never know when this the last time that you can love on them. We'll be right back.
Coming up, we chat with Dwayne Garnett. We'll be right back. On the next Michael Finkley, we're celebrating Music Monday.
What about when I say Lorenzo Owens? What comes to your mind?
Well, listen. I came out here and he opened his mouth and literally, I thought my hair did this.
Lady O said it best. We have Lorenzo Owens with us as we talk about his Oprah experience, his music, and so much more. Don't you dare miss the next Michael Finkley.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Y'all, we are celebrating love today here on the Michael Finkley Show. And I tell you, love is in the atmosphere. It's here. And no better person to talk about love is the love advocate himself, Mr. Dwayne Garnett. Thank you for being on today.
Thank you for having me. Hey, everybody.
I'm telling you, he's that guru. He's that love guru. I'm serious. He's a love guru. All right? He's going to tell like it is, whether you like it or not. Take it or leave it, you know? So let me ask you this. What is your definition of love?
I don't believe that love has a definition.
Ooh, see, we're off to a good start. Why is that? Why is that?
Because as human beings, we're fluid. So I can tell you something feels one way to me, but it may feel totally different from you. It's very simple. I can tickle one person and they laugh, the other person says, ouch, that hurts. So if I say that love feels like a tickle, that already is setting someone up who doesn't like to be tickled in a negative effect. So we actually help people identify that there are elements to identify the phenomenon, but we don't describe it because it only can be defined by those who experience it.
I love the way you said that. And I guess that leads to my next question, because you have this entire, I guess, curriculum, educational aspect when it comes to love. Can love be learned?
Love definitely can be learned, and that's what we do. We've been doing it for 3 years, 3.5 years strong now because COVID. Look, in COVID years, it moves kind of fast. But yes, June 21st was 3 years for us, and we've been teaching about love in an unconventional way, but definitely in a way that people can recognize. And we've actually been teaching a lot of people about love. I just got out of a session before coming on to here with you, who was just talking about that earlier. Mm-hmm.
And where did this concept come from? Did you just sit around one day and say, hey, let's teach others about love? How did this come about?
Well, that's a funny story. So roll that beautiful bean footage. No, all jokes aside, I was actually in the process of writing my second book. And what I ended up doing was collecting a lot of thoughts that I had for about 3.5 years prior. And so as I was putting them together and I was about to send them off to be copywritten, that's when it dawned on me that this was a manual to help people identify love. So truth be told, it came out of 3.5 years of just struggle, pain, laughter, joy, all just raw emotions. And it wasn't until I compiled them in the order that I wrote them that we realized that it was a manual, and that's how it started. Purpose has a way of not necessarily choosing you, but once it is revealed to you, it takes over from there. You just yield over. You just yield like, okay. And so purpose is the one that kind of shaped all of this.
All right. And you don't do this alone.
I don't do this alone. I am fortunate and blessed enough to do this alongside my wife of 12 years. A childhood friend, actually. The funny thing, we weren't really friends in high school, but we are truly friends now. We knew of each other and we're in the same classes, but we are truly friends. She just so happened to move up here in the Raleigh-Durham area, and we clicked, and we do it along with her. And then also my male co-host, my brother, my friend, Cordell, we've been friends now for about 3.5 years. We met him in February, right before we started. Well, a little bit over, almost 4 years. We met him right before we started Love is a Parable, and he's been with us through it all. So we got 4 ride or dies who are helping us do this, but we also have an advisory committee that consists of 6 subject matter experts that we really consult with to help us carry out our mission and our plan. And so between that 6 and that's 9, and then our 2 girls, because they wrote a book. The 2 girls wrote a book, and so it's a family affair in this thing.
And that's the best way to have it. Keep it all in the family. I love it. And those that you are close with, that truly understand your mission and your passion as well. And so with Love is a Parable, your business, you say you train and you teach others. What does a session look like? Because I just find the aspect of teaching love very much so, interesting. It's something that we do, but we don't really think about. So what kind of sessions do you have with your clients and patients?
Boy, it is very emotional. It is emotional because that's one of the things that we want people to do. We want you to feel again. And the approach that we do, I have 19 years of experience working in higher ed. I taught for 12 to 15 years in teaching, but I also was in senior to executive leadership for a while. So a lot of andragogy experience went into what we're doing, but we do what is called a reflective thinking approach. So it's not so much where it's just lecture and I'm sitting there talking to you about it, but it's really designed in a way for you to reflect, and we facilitate a process of you going through your thoughts and how you identify and align your values with that. And so as we go through that process, we are helping to reduce what we call restrictive ideologies. You know, those cultural norms or societal norms that we subscribe to that really hinder us from being who we are. You know, that assumptive thinking, really just coming to a conclusion without any reason or facts is just something you assume to be true. But then we also deal with limiting beliefs, things that I have developed along the way that I believe about myself. So we remove those barriers so one can achieve what we like to call personal fulfillment. And so when they're happy with themselves, find love and peace within themselves, they then make what we call meaningful interconnections with those that they are around. So it's a lot of emotion and we welcome it. We want you to be emotional. So you can scream, yell, cry, all of that in our session. We welcome that because that is raw emotion, that is real emotion, and that is probably the one time that somebody can organically be them.
Oh my gosh, that's good. That's really good. Bringing out the raw, true, three-dimensional them. What are
Right.
some, without giving any type of names of, you know, clients or what have you, what are some of the most memorable sessions that you've had thus far?
Oh, I have where one told me, one young lady told me that, you know, you finally helped me understand my dad. And her dad wasn't even in the program, but it was the fact that we have expectations. We talk a lot about expectations, but really expectations is not for anyone but the person who has set the expectation. Meaning I may have an expectation that I will not let Michael disrespect me. That expectation is for me. It's not really for you. But what I try to do is say, Michael, you're going to respect me, but that's not what it really should be. What it is that I'm determining if Mike disrespects me, what am I going to do next? Am I going to allow him to continue? Am I going to discontinue the relationship? Am I going to tell him he's disrespecting me and it's not okay? But the expectation is really for me. And most of the time, we don't even communicate expectations. It's just something that we feel is assumed, like, okay, well, we're going to respect one another. But no one says what respect really is, because respect to you can be totally different to me, but it's an assumptive type thinking. So I take an assumptive stance on that. And then when you cross that line, you didn't meet my expectation. Well, now betrayal comes in. And so I have decided well before you have apologized or anything, if I'm going to forgive you for not meeting this expectation. If I'm unable to forgive you for not meeting this expectation, nor have I articulated that you missed this expectation, this betrayal comes to unforgiveness, and then that's when resentment and bitterness sits in. And so that's when we push people away. So we help people identify that a lot of times if we articulate that initial expectation and what that felt like for me, that will give the alleged offender an opportunity to say, I can fulfill that expectation, or no, that's not even good for me. I ain't even sign up for that. So that way the offense won't take place. And so she learned from that I had an expectation of my father that he didn't have as my father, and I needed to let that go. You know what I mean? I needed to let him go and realize his best may not have been my best, but his best is what he was willing to give. And I needed to decide if I was going to take that or not. So those are the things.
Oh, that goes deep. And it reminds me of a process, just like everything else in life, right? It's a process to get there. And truly, when you acknowledge it, I feel barriers can break. And then the light can come in and say, I get it now. There it is. Is there an activity real quick that we can do right now?
Like with which one?
I'm a client. I come in and I say, hey, now there, I need to know what love is for me, for Michael Finkley. What would you do?
Now that is a process. Now we go through a whole process to help people. We call them uncovering sessions. We don't do discovery. We believe you are who you are organically, and you're just a response to the things that have happened to you. So we help you peel back those layers. But right now, Michael, you have what is called a sacred box. A sacred box is everything that you value good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
All of your experiences and everything you have taken from that, you have taken some good things from that. You might have taken some not so great things from it, but these are things that you value.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about religion for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What is your stance on religion?
I grew up in it, right? I was
Okay.
exposed to it at a very early age. My grandfather was a pastor, my grandmother first lady, and my mom grew up in the church, so I was exposed to it. I feel like I had no choice.
So how do you feel about non-believers?
At this point in my life, at growing up, I was like, oh my gosh, you need to believe in what I believe in. But as time went on, I'm just like, okay, you be great and I be great. All right, you do you and I'm going to do me. So that's how I feel. And there's no judgment.
Okay. So do you feel like you can be close to someone who isn't a believer, just like you can be close to someone that is not a believer?
Absolutely.
That is a believer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what I've learned about that already, when you started talking to me, there was a level of excitement and joy that you have with your past.
Mm-hmm.
So you were basically telling me right now in this moment that I have a problem more so with current religion versus the past religion of days are old. But it's not really the religion that I'm identifying with, it was the tradition, because you identified people.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't identify any principles. You talked about the people that you value.
Mm-hmm.
So those people value of what they think about you, you
Mm-hmm.
put a lot of value in that.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody goes against what these pioneers in your life, these foundational builders, we call them foundations, these foundational builders have done, it might make you feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And you may judge people from that area. It may not be intended to be bad, but you still judge people based on how you look at them from that area.
Okay.
So I know when it's time to talk about religion, it's okay to talk about religion, but I dare not talk about certain individuals within that religious realm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that are of value to you, good or bad, but that we help people realize that. So you're actually looking from that lens.
Mm-hmm.
And you're really saying more of, I can get along with people, but I can tolerate them as long as they don't cross that line. So it's a little different.
Wow. I would have never realized that.
Yeah, and that's how you start realizing the things that are of value to you. Have you ever noticed, have you ever talked to someone and it seemed like the conversation is going great and they get upset or the conversation ends and you're like, I wasn't expecting it to end that way.
Yeah.
You went near their sacred box and they put their armor on.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of us don't know what we value. It's like, because it's so buried within us, we just defend it at all costs. And so we help people identify, well, what's in your sacred box? It's not for me to know everything, but at least you should know.
Mm-hmm.
So when those conversations happen, you're like, oh, I can talk about Christianity, but what we're not going to do, we ain't going to talk about no pastor and we're not going to talk about no first lady, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so you'll let them know, like, oh, we can talk about all of it, but let's not talk about the work that people go into because you don't know what they deal with, because you have a personal relationship with it. So you're already giving it a level of leniency, whereas somebody who don't. And so you should say, you know what, this conversation is a little uncomfortable for me. Let me tell you why. You move on.
That is good. That is good. Wow. Yeah, we're going to talk after this as well. This is great. This is great. Oh my gosh. What would you tell someone? I love to end sessions with encouraging words. What would you tell someone out there that's just so confused about where they stand within this concept of love?
Selfishly pursue you.
Mm-hmm.
Selfishly pursue you. Spend time with you, loving you, understanding you, peeling back the layers, understanding your why. Mm-hmm. We have to stop thinking that no one will fulfill you. No one will fulfill you. No one will complete you. Only you can do that. Mm-hmm. But what people can do is compliment you. They will not fulfill you. They will not complete you. See, single means to be complete, whole, and without lack. So you got to have a singleness in mind, a singleness in thought. So you got to be a whole unit first. That better half part, take it out of the way, because you got to know when you're allowing somebody to come in your life, you got to know when to add and when to multiply. See, if you add in 1 + 1 is 2, and you don't want that. But when you multiply, 1 × 1 is 1, and that's what you want to achieve. 1, 1, and oneness. You want to know who you are, be one with who you are, but also recognize that you can be one with other, and then you go into this realm of oneness that's moving in a complete unit, that's moving as one, but you will never get there until you spend time with you and aggressively, passionately, be selfishly invested in all the things that make you, you. Know yourself. It's a beautiful
Know yourself. Oh, that's deep. That is so deep. Oh my gosh. How can they find you on social media?
Oh, if you just put in love is a parable, love is a parable, love, yep, love is, yep, parable, P-A-R-A-B-L-E. A lot of people ask about that. So if you put that in, love is a parable, you can find me on all social media platforms. Yep, we on everything. And you can go to our website at loveisaparable.com. That's the simplest way, because if you go to loveisaparable.com, look at the bottom, you can hit all of our social media links, follow, subscribe, and like.
I love it. You're going to be back too. I'm just letting you know now. Okay, you're going to be back. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on. Thank you.
Next, we chat with Jabril and Brianna about their amazing love story. We'll be right back. The Finkley Experience is an education and consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education. We assist parents and their students with the college process. We train school administrators, and we also partner with colleges and universities to assist with their first-generation population. To learn more about our consulting firm and to purchase our book and workbook, please visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Y'all, we are still talking about the concept of love. Love truly can conquer all. And I tell you, this couple beside me, they have a story, and they're going to tell it right now. Introducing Jabril Watson and also Miss Brianna Livingston. Thank you all for being on today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. We are truly honored that you thought of us to be on your segment. We really do appreciate that.
You're very welcome. I told myself when I did this segment, I'm just like, I got to have them on. Got to have them on it. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of background before we start the whole question and all the good stuff. I want to give my viewers a background of how we got connected. It was 2016. This couple, they were in their senior year at Manning High School. And I came in as a college and career counselor. And I heard about them. They was like, oh yeah, they're boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Because you just belong together. You just look so good together. But I never knew the extent of, how you all met and, especially where you are now. So tell us, how did you all meet? What grade was it?
Ooh.
You want to take that one?
You can take that one.
Well, we actually met in the first grade. We rode the same bus all through grade school. So we met in first grade on the floor, sitting up under the little bus number, and I aggravated him every day.
Really?
Literally every day.
He was the only first grader with braces. So I was like, what is that? Like,
you never seen that before?
I've never seen braces. So I just asked him every day. I was like, what's your name? And, he was just real flirty. Just
in the first grade.
In the first grade.
I didn't even know what I was doing in the first grade.
I had no idea what was going on.
He just entertained me.
Wow. And so as time progressed, you bothered him some more. He started bothering you eventually.
Yeah,
when did you all say, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend. I want you to be my boyfriend? When did that start?
I got that one. That was in May of our 5th grade year through Facebook Messenger.
Oh my gosh.
Right. We were
Wow.
just hopping on Facebook for the first time, and I was like,
In the 5th grade?
yeah, yep.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, we've been on the bus riding on the bus together for, at this time, 4 years, and we were just having so much fun. It just felt like we had that connection. We were best friends first, and very important. That is very important. So, after a while, I was just like, I want to take this to the next level. In 5th grade, but
5th grade.
we knew very little at the time about what it was. I mean, it was, you just wanted to make that commitment. You didn't know what love was or anything like that truly, but it was something that was inside of you.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely could say that as students, I came in at the tail end of your senior year, but I can tell as students that, I can tell the commitment was there. And then you all supported one another in everything that you did in that time that I saw. And so when did the concept of I love you come about? Who said it first?
He did.
Really?
6th grade.
Really? Wow. How did that go?
I mean, I said it bad because I was like, wow, he said he loved me. Like, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, let's go with it. And as time progressed, you understand what that is, and you actually learn the meaning of it. So yeah. That's how it went.
Jabril, why did you say it?
So in 6th grade, as we continued to talk a little bit more, and we spent that entire summer after 5th grade, that entire summer texting back and forth, well, emailing back and forth, because that was our mode of communication. And so after learning so much about each other, what our dreams were, and what we wanted to do, and we started picturing lives together. Once we got into 6th grade, we started incorporating each other into our future plans. So the dream stopped being, just, I want to do this, to, okay, so what do you think about us doing this? And once we got to that point, I was like, okay, this is serious. We started praying about it, and I was like, okay, I love you.
Y'all on a different level at this time. Literally, 6th graders thinking about those kind of things, those kind of real world grown up stuff. The average 6th grader's not thinking about that. It's like, I like you, I like me, check yes or no, right? But you all are just beyond that. You all were just beyond that. So you all graduated from Maine High School, and then you all went to you're currently in 2 different colleges. Now, how has that been, the distance?
Okay, I'll start off, because the distance was, I know, at least for me, it was a major consideration in choosing which school I was going to go to. I knew I wanted to leave South Carolina, so I didn't go too far. I went to North Carolina, but I was between 2 schools, either here on the East Coast or Stanford on the West Coast. And it's a great school, and there was a lot of resources, things that were pulling me out there. But then there was something that was anchoring me on the East Coast. And honestly, it was the best decision that I ever made. Because distance is hard, but it's not as bad because we aren't that far apart from each other. So that's the first thing. You have to get through. We had to get over the fact that it wasn't going to separate us. We might have been miles apart, but when you look at it, we're only 2.5 hours apart, and we can go visit each other on the weekends, and we can still see each other, versus if I had gone across the country, that would have been a different story. So compromises were made, and honestly, the best thing that I could have ever done, because the saying, distance makes the heart grow fonder, or at least that's what I believe. Because when you miss each other, that lets you know that, okay, there's something that's missing from me.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And it really helped solidify that this is who I want to be with for the rest of my life.
So cute.
Okay, Bree, your turn. Your turn, Bree.
Well, Senior year, I was just like, I don't know what's going to go on for us, what's going to happen in our future, because I knew he was looking at Stanford all the way over there. I was like, Lord, what's going on? Because I knew I wanted to be close to my family. So I kind of wanted to stay at least in the state. So I was like, okay, Winthrop is my choice. But then he was like, okay, well, I may go this place, I may go that place. And I was like, well, if this is what we want, then we have to make this what we want. So if you don't want this, let me know now. But if this is what we're going to do, then we're going to do it and we're going to do it right. So I'm just 2 hours and 49 minutes exactly from Duke. So that's how we make this work. And we just have a good communication line.
That's it. And that's what it's all about too. That's the foundation, right? Keeping that open, because things can get through the crack if it's not open all the way. Definitely. So, Jabril, you recently said, let's just do this. Come on. We've been together already now forever. How was that thinking for you? You're still in school, so how was that thinking for you to actually propose?
Right. So that process was, I held on to that for over a year. So the way that it happened was, like I was saying, when we were missing each other and we were making it work, that let me know that it was there. It was solidified. There was no questions at that point. I knew that this is who I wanted to be with for the rest of my life. So in October of 2018, I said, okay, I know this is what I want to do. So how am I going to do it? So that took, I proposed in December of 2019. So a little over a year to find the perfect ring, the perfect plan to propose. I put a lot of thought into it. That's how much I cared about that moment. I cared a lot about that moment because I had made the decision, let's see, maybe the end of freshman year after we saw that it was work. It really worked. And the reason that I say that I had to come to my own realization that it really worked was because before we left for college, you had people saying, the distance and college life is going to separate you and everything. So, that's always in the back of your head. But we, as Brianna was saying, once we made that decision before we left, that this is what we're going to do, we kept that communication line open. It worked. And so I made that decision in the freshman year. October of 2018, I began thinking of how am I going to do it. I got the ring in February of 2019, and I held on to it. Like, imagine keeping that secret.
I would spill the beans. All right, but listen. Oh my gosh!
It just had to be perfect because that's what we deserved. That's what our love deserved, was that perfect moment, that we've been dreaming of since 6th grade when we started incorporating each other in our dreams.
I just love it. And how did you feel at that moment, Bree, when he was like, "Marry me"?
I kind of wanted to pass out. I almost passed out.
He was there to catch you.
Back and forth. That was the thing. I was like, who's going to catch me if he's in front of me on one knee? So how am I going to fall backwards?
He's an athlete, so yeah, he got you.
He would have made it work.
Done so.
He got you. He got you.
It was a moment.
What was the funniest part was actually she was holding the ring in her hand and she didn't know it. So
please explain this.
I had it. Oh, of course. Actually, if we have time or something, we actually have a video, so I can pull up the video a little later if we have time. But
see this.
So it was a tribute to my parents. It was it was like their birthday party and wedding anniversary combined into one big event. So family, friends, it was a very intimate event. And each hour we had someone provide a tribute to them. So the first one was for my mom on her birthday, my dad for his birthday, and then we did the tribute for their anniversary, to show that we appreciated their love and what it has done to direct us in our love. And while we were doing that, I told her that I got them some gifts, some matching watches. So I had it in a gift bag, and she was holding the gift bag while I was making the speech and the tribute. And then I said, this is why, this is what we want to give to you. So then I gave her the mic, turned, grabbed the ring that was in the bag, and pulled it out. And everyone was screaming. It was amazing.
I love this. Oh my gosh, this is so great. What advice would you give to young people, younger than you, the same age bracket, older than you, about the concept of love? What would you tell them?
For me, I'd have to tell them that you have to be prepared for what comes with it, because love it's all exciting and everybody glorifies it, which they should, but be prepared for what comes with it. You have so much naysayers that have so much to say about what you have going on. You just have to be prepared to stand your ground and be in love if you are in love.
Gotcha.
I agree 100%. And I think one thing that I would add is that love is more than what you see in romantic movies and films and stories. It comes with a lot more than just that, they said back in grade school, that puppy dog love is what they call it, that cupcake love, right, that expires after a year or so. Mm-hmm. So it's more to it, because after a while, you have, if this is the person that you want to be for the rest of your life, you have to remember that they're going to evolve. Mm-hmm. You're going to evolve as a person, you're going to grow, and you want to make sure that you grow together so that you can find new ways to reignite that cupcake phase. So you continue to make it interesting and, lively, excuse me. You want to make it lively, because after a year or so, if you aren't ready for them to change into a better person or grow, and you're not ready to grow with them, that cupcake stage goes out, and then now you're bored and you don't, now you want something new, and that's when you start looking for something new. And you never, if that is truly what you want, because love does have a lot of things that come with it. If love is truly what you want and that's who you want to spend the rest of your life with, you have to make sure that you are ready to make sacrifices and ready to give up some of yourself also to make it one. Because how do I explain it? Because it's something that you feel and go through. It's hard to explain sometimes, because you want to make sure that I think the best way to explain it is because the way that we had such open lines of communication and our love was so strong was because we grew up together and we witnessed each other mold into the people that we are now. Yeah. So we had this raw image at first, and it molded into beautiful people, and you just have to be ready for that molding. Yeah. And you have to be ready to commit to the fact that people are going to grow and change. And that's the biggest thing, is being able to commit to that.
I love this. Y'all, I wish you nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. The wedding is in, you said 2022, correct? Mm-hmm. So after they graduate, that's when you're going to start your next journey in life together. I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
On the next Michael Finkley Wednesday, we are saluting Black businesses, and we're chatting with Brittany Stroud, Michael Lee, and Darius Johnson on their incredible businesses as they tell us more about what they're all about. Join us on the next Michael Finkley.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Did you enjoy it? I did. I enjoyed it. What did you enjoy about it? Leave it in the comments below. Let's have a conversation. I really enjoy this show, learning about the concept of love, what that entails, what it looks like. What stood out to me, thank you, Mr. Garnett, for being on and just opening our minds and our thoughts to this concept, because it's learned, right? It's learned like everything else in life, but we forget about that because it's love. And so what I learned about is that love doesn't have a definition. And also when it comes to this concept as well, you have to know self. How can you give something out when you don't know what you have on the inside? Words to live by. Thank you. And then to my babies, my students, Brianna and Jabril, thank you for being on and telling your story. Y'all, they look so grown up, don't they? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. They're in their final year of college, they're engaged, they're just doing it up. I always knew that their thinking was beyond their years, and it showed today in a good way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Mr. Finkley wishes you the best. Thank you so much. On the next Michael Finkley, we have on Monday, Lorenzo Owens. Now, he was on Oprah's singing competition way back in the day. And I tell you, we're going to talk about his experience of what that was like, and then what he's doing today currently music-wise. We're just excited to talk with him. So that's on Monday. If you'd love to be on the Michael Finkley Show, please email us at michael@thefinkleyexperience.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well at the Michael Finkley Show and ring that bell for notification. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend.